Next up, at UFC 310, we got Cody Durden taking on Joshua Van with some of the biggest line movement we have seen on this card. Cody Durden opened at a plus 275 underdog, is still a dog, but only plus 130. That line tightened pretty quickly. Cody Durden, 17-6 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off a submission win over Matthew Schnell, taking on Joshua Van. 11-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that bounce-back win over Edgar Chavez. Cody Durden, as we all know, is a pressure wrestler. He averages almost 5 takedowns per fight. He loves to come forward. He'll throw a bunch of big looping shots. He's got a little bit of power in there, and he'll shoot takedown after takedown after takedown. He will chain wrestle. He will adjust his patterns and his entries and ultimately get these fights to the ground. Once he's on the ground, he is working. He's raining down strikes. He's looking for submissions, and he's moving. Sometimes he's moving a little too much, can lose the position, which is why he is getting 5 takedowns per fight. You're not getting 5 if you have the control of a boring-ass Movsar Evloev. But you understand where I'm going with this. He's taking on Joshua Van, a very young kid at only 23 years old. So breaking him down is always tricky because he is improving at a much more rapid pace than most of the more established guys. He's a solid striker. He's got good aggression, a decent amount of power in there. His takedown and scramble skills are okay. Everything is improving from fight to fight, even though he is primarily a striker. He is good everywhere. He can grapple as well. He does a nice job looking for things in scrambles. So he's not usually going to come out with a grapple-heavy game plan, but if it's there, he'll go ahead and find it. He's coming off that bounce-back win over Edgar Chavez, where the offensive striking looked pretty good, but he looked like he lacked a little bit of confidence, right? He was coming off that knockout loss. He was almost finished in that fight with a spinning back fist. And that's kind of the problem here, is both of these guys are willing to slug it out. And both of them can be a bit chinny. They can both sort of deal with the consequences that come with slugging it out. So if we have two people that are going to Max Holloway their way through this fight and point to the ground and let their hands go, I probably trust Josh. But I trust Cody Durden and his fight IQ and his understanding of this sport and the veteran savvy to do what he's going to do. His best opportunity to win this fight is come forward, be aggressive as shit, set a high pace, get the takedowns, and work. For that reason, I am picking Cody Durden. I haven't bet on him quite yet. I've been watching the line. While it did tighten, a lot of that tightening happened a while ago, and he's jumping around between plus 130, plus 135. So I'll decide later if I'm going to pull the trigger on that. But I do think Cody Durden can win this fight, and it's just going to be pure aggression and nonstop wrestling pressure. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of put this into the category of if Durden can wrestle, he wins. If he cannot get the wrestling going, he loses. And I think that is a big fucking mistake that people are going to be making, because a lot of people are going to convince themselves to take Joshua Van because they believe just he's a better striker. He's the better striker. And I think he's definitely the more technical striker. I think he is the more cleaner striker. If you watch both of these guys shadow box or spar from previous fights, you put them together, you can be like, oh yeah, Joshua Van is going to be the better striker. But this dude, Cody Durden, is fucking sneaky with the shots that he throws. And when he throws them correctly, he has fucking pistons in his fucking hands, and he hurts a lot of people. I always talk about Cody Durden as underrated power, and people without power are hurting Joshua Van. He got his clock cleaned by Charles Johnson, who doesn't really hurt hardly anybody. I think he hurt Hadley, but Hadley is what it is. He got dropped by Borjas in that last fight. As you mentioned, he got hurt again, and he's getting hurt in like just regular kind of punch combinations. I think Cody Durden, if he just keeps the shot straight and just trusts regular combinations, I think he can hurt this kid. So if I think he can hurt the kid on the feet and even go toe-to-toe in the strike, because Joshua Van doesn't have like crazy power. I mean, what kind of performance have you seen? I mean, he finishes like a Felipe Bunes or whatever, who isn't really like a UFC guy. Other than that, he's just kind of going tit for tat with people. It seems like he has power. He's not really like absolutely like killing people. So if I see Cody Durden as I think has a power advantage, I think he can hang in the striking, and he's going to have such an advantage in the wrestling if he wants to go there. I got to go with Cody Durden in this fight because Joshua Van as well, I don't think is a guy that defends takedowns. I think he's a guy that gets taken down, tries to hit switches, tries to sweep through for leg locks. He's a very confident, cocky kid on the feet and on the ground. If you get cocky on the ground against Cody Durden, you try to spin around, he's going to fucking grab your neck. You saw how quickly he grabbed that ninja choke versus Matt Schnell. And I have it on high authority. He came into that Matt Schnell fight short notice and was just kind of winging right hands, and they're like, holy shit, is he going to be able to do this the whole fight? And he eventually was able to land some shots and then found that submission. But I have it on good authority that he is not going to be winging right hands. That was just a one-time thing. He knew he could hurt Matt Schnell, and I think he's going to be a little bit more measured. And if he comes in measured, I think he can hand and strike and get the takedowns and has an opportunity to dominate this fight.
Yeah, listen, we're both on the same side. Obviously, it's spectrum, and you're a little more confident than I am. I do think he needs to stick to a certain game plan, but I do think he gets it done. Somebody commented Durden is bigger. He is bigger. Right? Josh Van's not a big dude. He's not a big dude at all.
Durden was a 135er when he came into UFC. He fought Chris Gutierrez to a draw at 135.
Yeah, Joshua Van's not big. I think what happened with Joshua Van is he came in short notice against Zalgas Zumagulov and looked amazing in that fight. And a lot of people think this fight will look like that, a Bull Matador situation where he was defending trash takedowns and his hands looked amazing. Cody Durden has better takedowns than Zalgas Zumagulov.
I mean, he was like kind of walking down. A lot of Josh Van is being able to walk somebody down. And when you stand your ground, you saw Charles Johnson at third round because it was it was definitely a back and forth fight. I think it was even tied on some scorecards, whatever. I think maybe a judge had Charles Johnson down. I can't remember. But once Charles Johnson stood his ground and matched those combinations and sat on some shots, I mean, if Josh is not able to walk you down, he's not going to fucking walk down Cody Durden.
No, I completely agree with you. So we are on the same page here. Cody Durden, $7,700 in DraftKings Fantasy. Seems like a great price to me. A couple of takedowns, a little bit of control. That should bode well for us and our lineups. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the tools, the round line leans, the artificial intelligence, and everything else, it's freaking $10. $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.
And what's kind of funny about Cody Durden, too, is if you look at obviously, he's got some good wins. Charles Johnson's been killing it. He beat Charles Johnson. Matt Schnell is what it is. But if you look at his losses, like that Jimmy Flick of random flying triangle, the Makayev was just a guillotine. Obviously, Makayev kind of cracked him, but
he got a takedown.
He was good on the shot, just kind of got caught in a guillotine. The Tagir Ulanbekov, the toes in the fence, right? Get your toes out the fucking fence. He's basically just holding himself on the fence. That was a weird situation. And then Bruno Silva, he was beating the absolute fuck out of Bruno Silva and then just got caught a little bit, but...
Well, and Bruno hits like a freight train. We do have a $4.99 super chat from Brian Velasquez, week 3, trying to get Jacob on Prize Picks. He wants you to weigh in on the Prize Picks.
No.
All right, we'll see you for week 4. Brian with a Y.